Hey friends, if you've ever been told that you need to be an organized person in order to be a minimalist, then I'm pretty sure whoever told you that is completely missing the point of minimalism, at least in my eyes. I'm a very messy person, if you didn't know. I don't tend to be the most organized. So back in January, I did my first big declutter ever. I had done some small ones in the past, but this was the first one that I did with the intention of moving towards a more minimalist lifestyle. So if you've been around YouTube for a while, you've probably heard of minimalism in some form or another. People like Matt D'Avella really popularized the term. And one thing that I think is really important to touch on is that minimalism can look completely different from person to person. One person's minimum amount of items might be someone else's maximum. So it can really look like a lot of different things. So first I'm going to talk about why I'm doing minimalism and what my goals are with it. Like why go through the trouble? So yes, minimalism is like a very sort of trendy thing. It can be very aesthetically pleasing if you want it to be. It can be like more of a spiritual thing or like anti-establishment thing. But for me, it's mostly just functional. Like it works so much better for me, especially as a college student. I had a realization this past winter that for the next 2 or 3 years, I'm not going to be in one place for more than 6 months at a time. So whether I'm here at school or back at home or studying abroad, like I will be moving all of my belongings multiple times a year, which is a burden. Like that's not an easy thing to do, especially with the amount of stuff that I had. So with that in mind, knowing that I'm gonna have to move all this stuff, like in like 2 or 3 weeks I'm going home after the semester, and then like 3 or 4 weeks after that I'm going to my summer job at summer camp, and I'll be there for like 7 weeks, and then after that I'll be going back to school, and then after that I'm going abroad. So it's like so much movement and so much stuff to move every time that it's like, gosh, if I could just slim this down and make this easier, then the next 3 years are going to be like so much less stressful, so much less chaotic. And so that's one of the big things for me, is I don't want to like have all this stuff to bring with me place to place. On top of that, I'm a really messy person. I don't tend to keep my room very clean, and I end up like letting it get messy and then cleaning it and then letting it get messy again and then cleaning it again, and it ends up being a lot of work. So therefore, by minimizing the amount of stuff I have, I limit the size of the mess every time. So like when my room is messy, it's like my sheets are messed up and there are like 3 shirts on the floor. Like that's not a mess anymore. Whenever I clean now, it takes like 10 or 15 minutes at most, and is just so easy to maintain when there's less stuff involved. So going for a more minimalist lifestyle really was the right move for me, and I've been enjoying it so far, and I've actually been slowly decreasing what I actually use. So I'm going to break this up into a couple different areas. So the first area is going to be my desk. Then we're going to talk about my wardrobe, and then we'll talk about the kitchen, because all 3 of those tend to be really like clutter-inducing areas for me, and have been the spaces where I've seen the most benefits of a more minimalistic lifestyle. So this semester I've gone for like a much more modular approach to a desk setup. So what I have is my lamp. I have like a jar with my pens and pencils and stuff that I might need, and like maybe 1 or 2 other things. Right now I have my speaker and an extra lens, but those aren't always there. I also have a couple dirty dishes, but we'll talk about those once we get to the kitchen. My drawing tablet lives almost permanently right in the middle of my desk, and my computer goes right on top of that. So when I'm not using my drawing pad, it's right out of the way under my computer. And when I do need it, I just scooch my computer back, and it's easily accessible. I find that that's a really good place for it. And if I need to clear off my desk, it's like the only thing I really have to move. Sometimes I'll put a couple notebooks up on the surface here like I have now. But those can also go in the drawer right below here. For the desk drawer, I usually keep spare notebooks that I haven't used yet. I'll keep mint tins full of like pencil stubs and other sort of small items that I don't want in the way and want to be able to like easily move around. I keep my hard drives down there and my notebooks that I'm currently using. So I have all my school notebooks in there, and my EDC stuff usually goes right in the middle. So my watch, my pocket journals, those will all go like right in the middle there, so that they're easily accessible when I leave the house. I can just open it up, take all the stuff out, and I'm on my way. So I wanted to make it like really, really flexible, so I can make sure that this desk is always sort of like clutter free and good for my own, personal work environment. So I find that this setup has worked really well for me. Previously, I had just like all sorts of stuff on my desk all the time. I had like a ton of like pencils and pens that I never use. So that's the desk. I keep it, as clutter free as I can, so that even when it's messy, it's not that messy. Now for the wardrobe. So I think it must be like 2 months now. 2 months ago, I put away all of my t-shirts that aren't white t-shirts. So this one is kind of wrinkly and dirty because I slept in it, and it's not the most, it's a bit of a baggier one, so it doesn't look the best. But I have all my white shirts in my drawer, and I have 7 of them, so I wash them every week, and I iron them all so they're nice and crisp and ready to go. And that's what I wear for t-shirts. I'm a little bit more flexible with outerwear because I do like to have some color in that. So my orange sweatshirt, my flannels, my coats and things like that, I have to keep around for the cold weather. So that back when I did incorporate all of my other t-shirts into the mix, it was really easy to put off doing laundry. And so I would just get like clothes everywhere, or my laundry bag just got so full all the time, and it was like took forever to do laundry. So by limiting myself to 7 shirts, it means that I have to do laundry every week, and I have to do it on time, or else I'm gonna have to wear dirty clothes, which I don't want to do. Wearing white shirts is also my favorite thing anyways. When I had all the other shirts in the mix, I would always gravitate towards the white shirts first, which was a good indicator that like, oh, these are my favorite, maybe I should just stick with these. I'm sure you've heard that from other people like Matt Diavella, who wears a gray shirt for everything. I'm not the first to do this. It isn't my original idea by any means, but it does just make me happier in general because I don't have to think about whether or not my favorite shirt is clean because the white shirt's always clean. I will say though, I have become kind of picky about which white shirt I wear on a daily basis. So there's that, and that's a whole different thing, but it's much less complicated than it used to be, which is nice. And pants, I still have a bunch of different like color pants and stuff, but I really only wear the light jeans, dark jeans, and khakis. I think they look the best. I like wearing them the best, and so I kind of just have gravitated towards those and not so much the others. So I've been kind of sticking to a minimalist wardrobe without even realizing it in that sense. I didn't limit my pants wearing, but it ended up that way anyways. And now for the kitchen. So one of my least favorite things to do is wash dishes. I tend to be really bad about it. I put it off and just for so long, and then when I actually have to get around to doing it finally, it's like there's so much to do that it's just like I always regret it, and I'm not good at managing it otherwise. So what I've ended up doing is narrowing down my own dish usage to 1 glass, 1 mug, 1 plate, 1 bowl, just one of everything that I might need, so that then whenever I want to use something, I have to wash it before I use it. So that'll naturally incline me to wash it after I use it, so that's ready to go the next time. And it just makes the whole process a million times easier. Yeah, so coming back to the dishes behind me here, I have a glass and a mug, and the next time I want to use those, I'll just bring them downstairs, wash them, and use them. So keeps me from accidentally piling up dishes in here as well. And then it's, again, just cuts down on the workload so much by just limiting myself. It's all about limiting how big the mess can be. So that's been super useful. It's minimized my stress so much, which is great. I always like stress out when there's dishes in the sink because I know I'm gonna have to get to them at some point, and I know that I'm putting them off, and never feels good. So it's been a good change for me. I'm glad I tried this out. Let me know if you try any of this, because as a messy person, I can tell you this has improved my life greatly. So let me know if you try it out. If you're new here, I'm Sam Cody. I do lifestyle videos and shoe reviews. So if you're into that, make sure you subscribe and stick around for more videos like this one. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, peace.